Good morning, I'm Angelo Castro III.
I'm Angela In. We are the Castros.
Happy Monday, and it's the second to the last day para sa COC filing.
Akalain mo, ganun kabilis
madami
yun.
ng pangyayari ang naganap sa pag-file, pero of course, ang inaabangan din ng marami, ang Duterte saga.
Oo. Baka daw bukas kasi siya mag-file, di ba?
Inaabangan natin kung mag-mayor si FPRRD.
Yun ang sinabi niya doon sa press con niya over the weekend. Payat niya.
Payat niya. He looks matanda, 79 na si...
Kasi sinabi niya, di ba, hindi daw niya kakayanin mag-national
Actually,
campaign.
kung tatanungin mo daw si Senator Bato, parang ang payo na lang niya kay FPRRD is wag na mag-stress kasi 79 na siya eh. Pero ang inaabangan pa rin natin kasi si Baste. Di ba si Mayor Baste, if in case mag-file ng mayor si Duterte, si former president, mag-vice mayor siya or senator.
Yun ang hindi natin.
Yun ang hindi natin.
Ang sinabi kasi nung over the weekend, vice mayor.
Pero kanina
it
kasi
remains to be seen pa rin until it is filed.
Kasi kanina ang padapis ni Senator Bato is senator. Kasi nag-hit to an oath sa PDP.
Naku, marami tayong mga pag-uusapan today. Siyempre, tulad nga na nabanggit ni Diego. Tomorrow, last day na.
Nabanggit ba ni Diego yun?
Oo, nabanggit mo. Sino-sino ba ang mga nag-file na over the weekend? Senator Laila de Lima under mamamayang Liberal Party list.
Yes.
Kanina, sa 10 City, nakikita ko sa monitor natin si Abalos. Sino na ang papalit? Diba yan, pag-uusapan
si John
din
Vic
natin.
Remulla.
Yun ang usap-usapan.
Okay, we're serving you news in a countdown.
All that before your second cup of coffee. This is Brunch. Starting our countdown with some sizzling sports action over at the UAAP. The LaSalle Green Archers pulls an upset against UP Fighting Maroons in yesterday's match, 68-56. Reigning MVP Kevin Kiambao and Joshua David led LaSalle's bid to give UP its first loss. And in the final minutes of the match, the two drilled a pair of triples to secure their win. Before this, the UE Red Warriors narrowly won against Adamson Soaring Falcons 63-62. Welo Lingo-Lingo's buzzer-beater shot sealed the Recto School's win. Precious Momoe led UE with 14 points, 11 rebounds, 3 steals, an assist, and a block. Round 1 of UAAP men's basketball ended with LaSalle leading, followed by UP, UE, and UST. The second half of the standing consists of Adamson, NU, FEU, and Ateneo.
Yon. Alam mo ba yung sa... Ito, let's go on muna. Let's talk about this later. In PBA naman, the San Miguel Beermen advances to the Governor's Cup semis after defeating Converge 109-105. SMB's Junmar Fajardo registered 40 points on top of 24 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal. Jalen Jones, meanwhile, showed the way for Converge Fiber Xers with 29 points and 17 rebounds. San Miguel will play against Barangay Ginebra in the best-of-7 semifinals, which starts on Wednesday. Wow, si Junmar, 40 points and 24 rebounds. Hindi biro yan, malaki-laki yan. Anyway, sa UAAP naman, this is Ateneo's, one of the Ateneo's worst starts in UAAP history. They've never had a start like this. Meron silang start na ganito pero nagre-recover sila and they end up winning couple of games. Pero yung 1 and 6, 1 and 5, bihira yan.
So ngayon from last week kasi UP ang number 1, ngayon LaSalle na.
LaSalle.
Ano?
Alam mo naman saan ang kampi natin
Alright, sige, let's continue with our countdown. Going to the 9th spot is our OFWs in Lebanon. The repatriation of around 110 OFWs in Lebanon was delayed until the last week of October. Now, flights going outside of the Middle Eastern country were canceled due to the ongoing conflict between Israeli forces and Hezbollah militants. Affected OFWs are currently staying in an evacuation center in the capital city of Beirut. The government has placed Lebanon under level 3, which means that OFWs are encouraged to voluntarily repatriate.
We'll just surmise that there are some Hezbollah followers hiding now in other areas, and Well, ganun pa rin. There's still some reports of strikes in southern Lebanon and in the Bekaa Valley. Ongoing pa rin po.
Yun. Kasi yung mga ma-repatriate na mga OFWs natin dito sa atin, bibigyan daw ng, of course, government ng assistance, 150,000.
Exit visas.
Oo, tas 150,000 pagbalik nila dito, that covers, dahil domestic helpers, most of them, that covers 4 months of their salary. And on top of that, there will be workshops and livelihood assistance para daw makakuha sila ng trabaho pagbalik nila dito. And even the undocumented
like we mentioned last week, the Lebanon government will provide exit visas even to those mga undocumented. Kasi we're not only looking at the Lebanon-Israel conflict, we're also taking a look at yung escalation with Iran and Israel. Because if you know, Lebanon and Jerusalem, nakasandwich yan sa Palestine, Iran and Israel. So if matuloy ng full-blown conflict ang Israel and Iran, ang daming madadamay na areas there na madaming Pilipino. So we're taking a look at now. I think they're talking about what happens if Iran and Israel becomes full-blown. How do you then evacuate? Forced evacuation na ba tayo?
Kaya ngayon pa lang dapat yung mga...
Hanggang Lebanon pa lang, let's get them out na.
Yung mostly naman sa mga kababayan natin dyan, compared dun sa ibang lugar, pumapayag na sila magpa-repatriate. Ang problema din lang din kasi may mga instances, yung employer nila ayaw silang i-release. So ang gagawin ng government natin, magbabayad sila. Babayaran na lang nila para makuha nila yung OFW natin.
Which is bawal na ha. Karamihan daw sa employers ng mga tao sa mga Pinoy sa Lebanon, hawak daw yung mga passport.
Bawal yun di ba?
May mga memorandum na tayo with the countries na bawal gawin yun.
Ang inaano nila kasi din daw, kaya ayaw i-release dahil may kontrata.
Yeah, but you cannot
kaya
do that.
Babayaran ng government.
May memorandum
yung
na...
alam ko, yung sinasabi mo yung sa passport, pero ito yung ayaw nilang i-release because of kontrata nila.
Pero yung holding the passport, withholding, that is bawal.
Alright, let's continue with our countdown.
On our top 8 is about Alice Guo. She needs to secure a temporary restraining order in order to be a candidate in the 2025 elections. The COMELEC says the TRO is needed because she was slapped with perpetual disqualification by the Ombudsman. Guo's lawyer Stephen David earlier confirmed that she will seek re-election as mayor of Bamban, Tarlac. Several lawmakers, including Senator Win Gatchalian, called on COMELEC to immediately disqualify Guo.
Kung hindi ka Pilipino, hindi ka pwedeng kumandidato. Kahit anong posisyon, either kahit na barangay captain, bawal siya kumandidato. At yan ay napatunayan na ng COMELEC doon sa kanilang fingerprint matching.
Yes, sa fingerprint matching nga napatunayan and sa
Ombudsman.
Ang problema, no case has yet to formalize the case against Alice Guo na hindi siya Pilipino.
Kaya nga
cancellation of citizenship, wala pa.
Inaantay nila yung desisyon ng ombudsman. Or may mag-challenge ulit.
May ombudsman decision na.
Yung perpetual disqualification.
Hinihintay natin yung TRO ng Supreme Court. But we all know naman kasi immediately executory ang order ng ombudsman but without finality. Yun ang malinaw doon. So kaya ni Chairman George, hanggat wala pang TRO, they have to receive the copy of the filing.
Re-receive lang naman
Ministerial lang naman.
Iba pa rin yung usapin kapag siya ay mailagay sa
ngayon,
official candidates.
Kung na-TRO siya, di pwede siyang tumakbo. Diba? Kung hindi siya na-TRO, di wala, out ka na.
You have to remember, last week, over the weekend din ba yun? Di ba, na-cancel din yung kanyang passport?
Na-cancel
na rin.
DFA.
Philippine passport.
So next step is yung question of citizenship actually. Sa courts na ata yan
Ito kasi ang, kumbaga parang, di ba nakikita natin, parang tactic ng kabilang kampo nila Alice Guo na ipakita sa atin, no, sa Philippine government na ang tawag dito, naninindigan siya. Diba dun sa claim niya na hindi daw siya Chinese spy at hindi daw siya sangkot sa mga pogo.
Na Pilipino daw siya. Pilipino daw siya.
Alright, sige, let's continue with our countdown. Kung may mga comments and ano pa ba sila, suggestion dun sa mga nangyayari sa atin patungkol kay Alice Go, i-comment nyo lang po dyan sa ating YouTube and Facebook account. But for the meantime, sino-sino pa nga ba ang nag-file ng kanilang kandidatura ngayong Day 7 ng COC filing?
Let's get updates from the ground. We have mobile journalist Amy Atienza live from Manila Hotel Tent City. Amy, sino-sino ba ang nag-file na dyan ng mga senatorial aspirants?
For the past 20 years.
Andiyan na, Diego, ngayon ay 7th day na ng COC filing dito sa Manila Hotel Tent City. At nakita natin na tatlo na ang nag-file ng kanilang COC for the Senate. Isa na dito yung si dating senador na si Gringo Honasan at ang dating sundalo na si Ariel Querubin na running daw as independent candidate. Pero supportado daw siya ng Nationalista Party. At ang huli nga nakita natin for the Senate is si Chavit Singson, kung saan sabi niya, priority niya daw ang mag-provide para sa PUV modernization program. At yun nga, may pinakita niya siyang card para daw sa digital bank na offer niya sa lahat ng mga Pilipino.
Yes, okay. Medyo malabo pa yung audio. We're gonna fix that up. But we'll get, sayang kasi yung report ni Amy kung di natin marinig ng buo.
Naririnig din natin kasi.
May background kasi.
May nagsasalita. Tapos mahina yung audio niya. But initially, sinabi nga niya, and we also saw sa ating TV screen sa monitor
Gringo
natin,
Honasan.
former Senator Gringo Honasan.
Colonel Querubin.
Oo, ay nag-file na ng kanilang COC. Which is hindi naman tayo nagulat dahil when we invited over former Senator Gringo Honasan,
80%.
sinabi niya di ba, malaking porsyento talagang kakandidato siya bilang senador.
Sabi niya, 80% there.
Oo. Sige. Alright, coming up. Former President Rodrigo Duterte confirms his mayoralty bid in Davao City. And more aspiring bets filed their certificates of candidacy for the 2025 midterm elections. Alala ko nga si
Mayor PRRD.
Senator Kiko Pangilinan. Kiko Pimentel nag-file ng congressional seat sa first district sa Marikina.
And he will go against his friend na si former Mayor Marcy Chodoro.
Pag-usapan po natin yan at iba pa because we are just getting started, mga kapatid. More of our top 10 news when brunch returns. Keep it here on One News. Good morning once again. You are still watching Brunch here on One News. Balikan na natin kaagad si Amy doon sa Manila Hotel Tent City para magbigay ng update sa atin kung sino-sino na ba ang nakapag-file ng kanilang COC doon sa area na yan. Amy, hello!
Hello, yes. Andito nga tayo muli sa Manila Hotel Tent City. At makikita natin kanina na alas 8 pa lang ng umaga ay meron na nag-file ng kanilang candidacy for the Senate. Nakita natin ang former senator na si Gringo Honasan, pati sumunod na dito si dating sundalong Ariel Querubin na sinabi nga na tatakbo siya bilang independent candidate pero suportado daw siya ng Nationalista Party. Sumunod naman dyan si Chavit Singson, si Governor Chavit Singson, kung saan ang priority niya daw ay mabigyan ng pansin ang PUV modernization program at sinabi niya din na nakausap niya na itong piston at manibela para nga daw makita kung ano nga ba ang tamang solusyon para dito sa PUV modernization program. May pinakita din siyang card na digital bank daw na i-offer niya sa mga Pilipino kung sakaling manalo siya bilang Senado. Matapos itong si Chavit Singson, nagpakita naman itong si Richelle Singson at si Chelsea Singson na tatakbo para sa Ako, Ilocano Ako party list. Yun muna sa ngayon, Angela, Diego.
Amy, kamusta naman yung atmosphere specifically outside? May mga supporters din bang kasama itong mga personalidad na nabanggit mo na nag-file ng kanilang COC this morning?
Yes, pagpasok pa lamang dito sa may area ng Manila Hotel Tent City, sa may Quirino Grandstand, makikita na natin ng supporters ni Benhur Abalos. Kaya abangan natin. At kanina din, may mga supporters nga itong mga Singson, si Chavit Singson, na inabangan hanggang sa may lobby ng Manila Hotel Tent City. Napakaraming tao ngayon ang dumadagsa. Pero hindi lang talaga mga supporters ang dumadagsa ngayon kasi marami na rin talaga ang nakapila para mag-file ng kanilang COC para sa Senate o sa party list.
Okay. Sige, babalikan ka na lang namin dun sa iba pang mga update tungkol sa mga nag-file ng kanilang COC dyan, particularly sa Manila Hotel Tent City.
Oo, kasi sino pa magpa-file mamaya? Diba, babalitaan tayo ni Amy. Oo.
Sige. Thank you, Amy. Yun. So, recap lang natin si former Senator Gringo Honasan.
Colonel Ariel Querubin.
Oo, si Querubin naman nagsabi na rin siya months ago pa
matagal
even
na.
last year nagsabi na siya yung intention niya to run.
And then you have former Governor Luis Chavit Singson also running for senator. Nabilanggit niya ang kanyang platform is more in the transportation sector. You also have Secretary Benhur Abalos of the DILG. Oo, under the admin slate naman of PBBM. Oo.
So then far, today din, kasi ganyan siya magpa-file na, malalaman na natin officially kung sinong papalit.
So sa admin slide, admin side, ang inaabangan natin ngayon sila former Senator Pacquiao.
Yeah.
Sino pa ba?
Parang wala na akong naiisip pa. Mamaya, check ko yung listahan
tapos
ko. Pero si Senator Pacquiao,
sa opposition
kasi
side...
Kasi Cayetano yesterday nag-file na Pia Cayetano.
Sa opposition side, si former Senator Bam Aquino and Kiko Pangilinan, inaabangan din natin.
Today or tomorrow?
Today or tomorrow yan.
Pero ang Little Birdie said, today. Di ba? Okay, sige, let's continue with our countdown. Coming at the 7th spot is the new Interior Secretary. A source told One News that Cavite John Vic Remulla is going to be the new Chief of the Interior Department. He will replace Benhur Abalos, who will run as senator in the next year's polls. The source also said Remulla was informed about the scheduled announcement of his appointment in the coming days. Prior to this, Remulla filed his candidacy for Cavite governor. If he is the new Interior Secretary, he will join his brother, Justice Secretary Boying Remulla, in the Marcos cabinet.
A tale of two Remullas. You have you have DOJ and you have DILG. Parehong dalawang critical position. Sa DOJ governs the PNP ba? No, NBI. Tapos ang DILG sa may PNP side naman yun.
So, aalaman din natin sino yung papalit sa kanya bilang kandidato sa Cavite kung siya talaga ipapalit. But as of the moment, di ba nakikita po natin sa ating right side of our screen ay itong si DILG Secretary Benhur Abalos na nagsasalita na officially nakapag-file na ng kanyang COC dyan sa Manila Tent City.
He has 3 minutes to give his speech. And then the media has 7 minutes to ask questions for a total of 10 minutes maximum.
Kasi may mga nag-extend Alamin natin yan mamaya sa pag-uusap natin. But ayan na nga, officially nakapag-file na itong si DILG Secretary Benhur Abalos ng kanyang COC bilang senador. Kung ano yung mga nilalaman ng kanyang sinasabi, mamaya malalaman natin kay Amy Atienza, ating mobile journalist na nakaposisyon doon ngayon sa Manila Hotel Tent City. But for the meantime, let's continue with our countdown.
Coming in at the top 7, more local politicians have filed their certificates of candidacy. In Valenzuela, Mayor Wes Gatchalian filed his COC for re-election under Nationalist People's Coalition. He says one term is not enough for him to be able to implement his programs for the city.
Sa totoo lang para sa akin, ang 3 taon po bilang isang bagong mayor ay talagang medyo maiksi ho. Ang aking pangarap na ang Valenzuela City ay hindi lang maging kilala bilang industrial city, but maging livable city. Yan po ang target ng aking administrasyon. So hopefully po, pag tayo po ipagbigyan muli ng tiwala ng taong bayan.
Pasig City Mayor Vico Soto is also seeking another term. Other local politicians who have filed their COCs include former Vice President Leni Robredo for Naga City Mayor and former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo as Pampanga 2nd District Representative. Diba? We also have we were talking about it, si Pimentel. Diba? We were mentioning it, 2nd District.
Apparently pala, parang mag-District 2 si Mayor Marcy Teodoro. Yun ang usapan daw. Pero nagulat na lang daw siya na pares pala sila mag-First District. So,
akala ko 2nd District si Pimentel din.
Ay, 2nd District. Basta magkaiba sila supposedly.
Baka first siguro dapat si Pimentel.
Pero yun nga, nagulat na lang daw siya na.
Di ba there's, sabi nga ng reporter, nung may report last week about yung filing, ang unang ang lumabas, tatakbo ng mayor si Senator Pimentel ng Marikina dahil although known ally siya ni Teodoro, parang may certain disagreements daw on some policies sa Marikina. Yun ang lumalabas ha. Yun ang
sinasabi naman, parang bihira naman daw nila makita yung presensya nito ni Senator Kiko Pimentel sa Marikina, then all of a sudden magiging congressman siya. Yun yung mga sinasabi ng iba.
At least si Pimentel naman, he's still in legislative.
Parang mahirap kasi siguro pag mag-mayor from from Senate, no? Magkaiba yung
kasi mayor is more an executive function direct involvement with the people ang mayor tapos ang legislative mga laws lang yan, amendments, filing, sponsoring, authoring.
Kaya di ba si former Vice President Leni Robredo, yan ang sinabi niya, no?
Skill set namin naman yan.
The reason why mas pinili niya na tumakbo bilang mayor sa Naga dahil mas sanay siya sa executive responsibilities as compared to sa pagiging senador, yung mga paggawa ng batas, etc.
Tsaka si VP Leni came from being a vice president, which is also an executive in nature. So very up her alley.
Alright, sige, pag-usapan pa natin ng iba pang mga kumandidato dito sa ating next. Entering our top 5 is the Binay family. It's going to be a family affair in the Makati elections next year. Mayor Abby Binay's husband, Makati Representative Luis Campos Jr., will face his sister-in-law, Senator Nancy Binay, in the mayoral polls. Mobile journalist Yeda Pascual with the report.
It's just politics, nothing personal. But in Makati, that might not be the case, as the Binay family is set to face off in a high-stakes battle in the 2025 mayoral race. Senator Nancy Binay filed her certificate of candidacy on October 1, while her sister's husband, Congressman Luis Campos, filed his on October 5. Nancy's father, former Vice President Jejomar Binay, has given his blessings for her to run for mayor. But family tensions are high. When asked if she had spoken to her sister, incumbent Mayor Abby Binay, before filing her candidacy, Senator Nancy became emotional.
Pamilya pa rin kami, di ba? Mas maninibabaw yung pamilya natin. Hindi ko kalaban ng kapatid ko. Walang Abby Binay sa balota. So, hindi kami magkaaway.
Mayor Abby Binay had previously told the Big Story that she was hoping and praying that her sister Nancy would not run for mayor. But when asked, Nancy said she hoped her brother-in-law wouldn't run either.
There's still that possibility na mag-usap siya ng kapatid ko at siya na mismo magsabi din sa asawa niya na huwag ka nang tumakbo, bigay na natin ito kay atin.
Senator Nancy's decision to run for mayor didn't sit well with Mayor Abby, who took to social media minutes after her filing using the hashtag #BeNice, a slogan that happens to be one of Nancy's own campaign taglines. On October 5, Congressman Luis Campos filed his certificate of candidacy for mayor, joined by his wife Mayor Abby and his running mate for vice mayor, Congressman Kid Peña. When asked what advantage her husband had over her sister Nancy, Mayor Abby's response was straightforward.
Ano daw advantage niya? Yes, ma'am. Ako ang advantage.
While the family rivalry continues, Nancy Binay still hopes for a resolution and stands by her sister's Senate run.
There's always good. Kailangan lagi tayong umaasa na at the end of the day, magkakaayos na ito. If kapatid kami, ito naman, very qualified siya, senator. So, ako ay susuporta bilang candidate.
But Mayor Abby has her doubts about her sister's support. She referenced the 2019 elections when she ran against her brother, Junjun Binay.
Parang may kondisyon ata yun. Susuportahan nila ako kung makakonvince ko yung asawa na hindi tumakbo. So, siguro kailangan natin ng konting flashback dahil
Noong 2019, hindi naman talaga niya ako sinuportahan. I think she does not believe in the kind of governance nor the kind of service that I have been giving to the Makati Zen. So that's the reason why it's ironic that now she is of the position that she would want to support.
And when it comes to the family tension, Abby prefers to keep some things out of the public eye.
Kumbaga hindi naman kailangan ng pag-usapan pa kung ano talaga yung problema namin sa pamilya. Sana huwag na mong pag-usapan ang binay. Ang pag-usapan ko ay plataforma, ang pag-usapan ko anong nagawa at ano pang gusto gawin.
In the end, who has the edge in the mayoral race in Makati? Both sides agree. Let the Makatizens decide. Mobile journalist Yeda Pascual, we are One News.
Campos versus Binay.
So, di ba, nung last week pinag-uusapan natin, dapat nung Thursday magpa-file yung asawa ni Mayor Abby Binay.
Yes, na-delay.
Pero na-delay kasi yun nga sinabi ko, yung hapon na yun, nag-file naman ng candidacy. Mayor Abby ng kanyang COC sa pagka-Senate. Kaya sabi ko, feeling ko sinamahan na niya yung asawa niya. Para the next day, yung si Mayor Abby Binay naman ang sumama dun sa asawa niya mag-file.
Tsaka para hindi sila mag-agawan ng limelight. Sa totoo lang kasi in one day, you're taking away the optics di ba? So hindi mo mapipiga yung story. From a PR perspective, you have to separate that kasi mag-asawa sila
Kaya nga yung iba, di ba, mostly baka mas maraming mag-file din tomorrow dahil last day. Specifically local. Kasi sa national, like sa Senate, medyo konti na lang inaasahan natin
very few na lang.
Yung malalaking personalidad pero kung yung mga hindi natin kilala na magta-try, yun ang hindi natin alam for tomorrow.
Sa admin side, as you said, we're still waiting for nga sila Senator Pacquiao. And then sa opposition side, we have former Senator Bam Aquino and Kiko Pangilinan na hinihintay na rin natin. Sa screen naman natin, kung nakikita mo, si DILG Secretary Benher Abalos, just completed his speech, tapos nagpicture siya with his COC. Ayan, so kakatapos lang niya. Nag 3 minutes talk siya and kaya tumagal siya because siguro yung question and answer. Ayan, he's now signing on the wall.
Panatawol. Yan yung pledge ng mga kakandidato na mag-participate sa marangal, walang dayaan na eleksyon. And yung dinagdag ng COMELEC is yung hindi sila gagamit ng artificial intelligence or AI deepfake sa kanilang pangangampanya.
AI to deepfake. Okay.
Okay, sige, let's continue with our countdown.
More aspiring vets are challenging the Villares in Las Piñas City. Now, let's get the latest from mobile journalist Ivan Tarinque. Ivan, sino-sino ba ang nakafile na ng mga COC dyan?
Yes, Diego, kanina bago magpasago alas 10 ng umaga, nagpasa na, dumating na yung Team Aguilar dito, kasama dyan si incumbent Mayor Mel Aguilar na tatakbo for Vice Mayor. Si April Aguilar, ang kanyang anak, natatakbo naman for Mayor at si Mark Anthony Santos, natatakbo naman for Congress. Kanina nga, natapos na kanila yung filing dito. Mabilis lang naman yung filing. Kanina sinubukan natin sila makakuha ng pahayag. Pero sa ngayon, hindi pa sila nagbibigay ng interview. Kanina, nakatunog din tayo. Nabigyan tayo ng lead na mamayang 2 p.m. naman. Magpa-file naman ang kanilang COC, ang Team Villar dito sa COMELEC sa Las Piñas. Diego?
Evan, yes, gusto ko lang malaman, of course, ang inaabangan ng lahat, si Senator Cynthia Villar. Kailan ba ang dating niya?
Yes, Diego, kanina nagpasa na ng kanyang COC sa Congress. Ito nga si Senator Cynthia Villar. Pero yung team niya dito, around 2 p.m. pa raw magpapasa ng kanilang COC. So, antabayanan natin kung saktong 2 p.m. or before 2 p.m. or after 2 p.m. pa sila magpapasa ng kanilang COC dito sa Las Piñas, Diego?
Alam mo, Evan, compared sa nakaraan araw, nakikita natin sa mga reports natin na medyo madaming tao ngayon. Sino pa ba ibang personalities na dumadating dyan?
Yes, Diego, kanina kasama yung complete slate ng Team Aguilar yung na dumating dito. Kasama dyan siya yung tatakbo for Congress na siya Mark Anthony Santos. At kasama nga ito si incumbent Vice Mayor
nawawala. Ay, sayang. Sayang yung report ni Evan. Evan? Nagpapaproblema tayo ng signal with Evan. Nag-freeze si Evan eh. Pero Evan is in Las Piñas right now kasi may report siya about yung pagpa-file ng COC ng mga ano doon. Pwede pa, Evan?
Okay, hello?
Yeah, Evan, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, Diego, kanina nga dumating nga dito yung complete slate ng Team Aguilar, no? Sa mga dyan si Mayor Mel, yung kanyang, ang Vice Mayor, yung kanyang anak na si April Aguilar at si Mark Anthony Santos, yung first district councilor. No, lahat sila kanina nagpasa na ng kanilang certificate of candidacy dito sa Las Piñas. Kanina nga dapat papangahan tayo ng interview. Pero hindi pa, actually bigla na lang sila lumabas. Huwag tayo nabigyan ng interview ng Team Aguilar. Pero mamaya daw around 2 p.m. nabulungan tayo. Ang Team Villar naman daw ang magpapasa nilang COC dito.
Okay.
Diego?
Okay, maraming salamat Mobile Journal Evan Tarinque for that report.
Live siya sa Las Piñas. Oo, sige.
Ano ba, color ba nila Villar yun, yung green?
Yung no orange sila Villar.
Orange, so green sila Aguilar. Okay.
Sige, let's continue with our countdown. On our third spot is the 2025 congressional polls. Some members of families involved in politics have filed their candidacy for a Congress seat over the weekend. Kenneth Gatchalian is running for representative of Valenzuela's 1st District. Over in Quezon City, Senator Raffy Tulfo's son, Ralph, is gunning for a second term as a representative of the city's 2nd District. Meanwhile, in the party list elections, former NTF-ELCAC spokesperson Lorraine Badoy is the second nominee of the Epanaw Sambayanan party list. Badoy said her party aims to represent the indigenous community. ACT Teachers Party List first nominee Antonio Tino criticized Badoy for her controversial past of red tagging Lumads.
Well, yan na nga ang outrageous nangyayari na sa party list system. Isang pinaka konkretong example na kumakatawan si Lorraine Badoy para sa indigenous people. Samantalang isa siya sa mga nanguna sa persecute sa mga lumad, sa lumad communities, pagpapasara, pandarahas sa mga lumad schools.
Meanwhile, former COMELEC Commissioner Rowena Guanzon also filed her COC as P3 PWD's first nominee. She was in a wheelchair when she filed her candidacy. Guanzon was supposed to represent her party list in the current Congress, but her arch nemesis, Ronald Cardema, prevented her through filing a petition before the Supreme Court. She shared her party's priorities in the Congress.
We want to push for 5% share of persons with disability in the total budget of all local government units and national agencies, including government-owned and controlled corporations, similar to the Gender and Development Fund.
Okay, so very parang pinag-usapan din yan yesterday yung kanya over the weekend, no, yung kanya nga pag-file ng COC itong si former COMELEC Commissioner Rowena Guanzon because she rambled for 30 minutes up there sa stage, which is
she gave her speech for 30 minutes.
Oo, sabi kong ganun palang, paano kaya siya nabigyan ng 30 minutes when in fact very strict sila. When I was there, nung first day of the filing, very strict sila dun sa 10-minute rule per candidate.
I was looking at the rules kanina online. Hindi naman nakaspecify pala na, let's say kung party list nominee ka, 3 seats yan, 3 kayong nominees, and all 3 of you will speak. Hindi naman nakaspecify if it the 10 no, in other words, hindi nakaspecify if the 10 minutes is for the entire party list or per nominee. Kasi kung 3 ang nominee supposedly at that time, she can take pala the time.
Pero isa lang first nominee lang magsasalita. Yun yung nangyari sa amin.
Okay, well, I'm just reading it out loud. Okay, so
kaya nga nagtataka din even other people, nagtataka sila bakit 30 minutes nakapag
well, we all know naman she was also with the COMELEC. She was a former commissioner ng COMELEC, si Rowena Guanzon, di ba? And we all know na she's an Iron Lady. So sinong susubok magpigil kay Madam Rowena Guanzon, Congresswoman.
So yun nga, kasi nung 2022 dapat siya yung uupo. 'Di ba? Kumbaga parang yung 5 nominees mag-withdraw tapos siya yung iuupo doon. Yung unang first nominee, parang ang pinakadahilan doon, nagkasakit yung anak, stage 4 cancer. Kaya bababa. Pero yung the rest of the 4 nominees, hindi alam yung dahilan kung bakit nila ilalagay si former COMELEC Commissioner Rowena Guanzon doon sa PWD party list. Kaya nga ngayon, di ba, ang COMELEC, tinraten out nila yung rules regarding dyan sa mga nominees na yan. So, pinayagan nila 10 nominees and within those 10 nominees lamang, yung po pwedeng pumalit kung sakasakaling kailangan pumalit. Diba? Bakit?
Naubusan ako ng... Sinaka po na lahat ng pwedeng sabihin.
Ay, ganun ba? Okay. Sige,
okay lang.
isip ka pa ng iba.
Well said, Mr. Senator.
Oo, diba? So, yun ang ating... Sana nga makausap natin si former COMELEC Commissioner Rowena Guanzon tungkol dun sa mga priorities niya in the Congress, ganyan. Kasi nga, naudlot naudlot yung pagkaka-congresswoman niya, di ba, as representative or first nominee
But we all know naman
PWD party list.
She's from a political family naman eh. Pero ang ano kaya sakit ni Madam, no? Nahirapan siya tumayo when you saw her.
Naka-wheelchair.
Oo, nahirapan siya tumayo. Inaalalayan siya, may nakaalalay. Tapos hindi siya stable eh.
Okay, sige, let's continue with our countdown. Ay, hindi pa pala. Hindi pa.
Akala ko naman, meron pa eh. Okay, don't go away because we're not done yet. May dalawa pa tayo. Stay with us.
Bati kami pagbalik.
Welcome back. You're still watching Brunch here on One News. And bati lang ng konti. Sabi daw ni Ralph Domingo na mukhang maganda daw ang mood natin this morning. Sabi ni Ralph Domingo.
Akala mo lang yun, Char.
May isang viewer nagsabi na basta kahit gaano katanda o bata, pwede naman daw tumakbo basta qualified.
Oo. Tsaka dapat maganda talaga yung hangarin, di ba? Hindi puro pangako. Eto batiin ko lang si Mark Santiago, Geraldine Balolong, at saka si Gary ko, Tita Daisy, Tito Naldin, Tito Nito Cacho.
Uy, good morning.
Nanonood sa atin.
Si BJ, si Vladimir.
Oo, si Ringo, si Tasha, yung mga nanonood sa atin. Si Ralph Domingo, Migs Ebron, Cecil Samaniego, Gary Field, and Sam Pokemon Go. Alex Fuentes, how can I forget?
And all our
dami
viewers,
nilang sinasabi dito, ha?
And all our viewers na hindi Tito Tix.
Jemar Velasco.
Ayan, si Tito Tix, nanonood sa TV. Hello, good morning.
Sir Jerry Panghulan, nanonood din sa atin.
Dati natin boss doon. Okay.
Okay. Sige, let's continue with our countdown.
On our top two, former President Rodrigo Duterte will run again as mayor in Davao City. His running mate is his son, incumbent Mayor Baste Duterte. The older Duterte says his decision is based on the clamor of the Davaoeños. His daughter, Vice President Sara Duterte, earlier claimed that the former president will gun for a senatorial position.
Yan ang gusto. Is it a public clamor?
Yes.
Among sa media?
Yes, Mayor.
Is the media's sentiment now reflect the
yes, of course.
community,
Yes, of course.
Gusto ng tao, ibig sabihin?
Yes.
Sige, mayor tayo.
Mayor Baste and
What will happen to Mayor Baste?
He should be the vice mayor.
Well, until we see the actual filing, I'll take that with a grain of salt.
Totoo.
Definitely, maniniwala ako na...
Is that, Eric Tayag? Heal PH party list.
Party list.
Sabi ko ni... Sorry, nagsasalita
parang nag-quick, wow! Sabi ko, uy, pengi naman tinapay!
Bakit? Di ko gets.
Parang usapan lang sa lamesa. Ang corny mo, tapos...
Hindi ko kasi sabi ko parang sa DOH, di ba? Former spokesperson ng Department of Health. This is bagay to kay, former Yusek.
Oo,
yan
bagay
po ay sa Manila Hotel, Tent City, Day 7 of COC 5.
Heal PH.
Heal PH party list.
Wait, balik muna tayo kay Duterte.
Sorry.
Sabi, until I see them actually filing their COCs, I have to take that with a grain of salt Because historically, they have said until last minute, hindi ako tatakbo, wala akong balak tumakbo, tapos nag-file na bigla. But
hindi na nila magagamit yung substitution though. So, kaya
but then again,
bukas malalaman na natin yung totoo.
Then again, if this comes to fruition, si for FPRRD will run for mayor, tapos si Baste vice mayor, I'm not surprised. It's because the numbers for Baste don't reflect a possible win sa Senate. So instead na may mabakante na isa sa mga Duterte na wala sa posisyon, might as well bring all of them back in position. So Mayor, Vice Mayor, VP Sara will remain as Vice President. Si Pulong is congressman, di ba? So
one thing is for sure, sabi nga ni, as per Senator Bato de la Rosa, hindi nila iiwan ng Davao.
No,
so
they cannot.
there has to be someone na magtataong bahay doon.
Because if they lose, if the Dutertes lose Davao to the Nograleses, they're losing their stronghold, their baluarte. And that may be the end of the start of the end of the Duterte brand. So the baluarte ng mga Duterte, they have to keep a hold on it.
Exactly.
Very important.
Basta ang nakikita ko talaga ngayon, base dun sa mga nagfa-file ng kanilang certificate of candidacy, talagang political dynasty. Number one ngayon.
Daddy, mayor, the son is vice mayor.
Iba-ibang posisyon,
Congressman
pero
si Pulong,
nandun talaga lahat.
Tapos si daughter nila, si VP Sara, is the vice president.
Sila.
No, I'm just saying in general,
Binay,
ito yung setup. And now you see,
JR,
in Batangas, you're looking at Vilma Santos Recto, si Lucky Manzano for vice governor.
Ngayon, kung mas pin nila yan in a good way,
well, if they function well naman. And then, pero ang point ko lang, even if you function well, nawawala ang check and balance. In a sense, kunyari, let's take governor and vice governor. Diba? It's mas maganda usually pag may contrast ka. Or mayor and vice mayor. Kasi alam mo, ang vice mayor takes hold of the city council. So, yung city council, nagkakaroon ng check and balance between them and the mayor. Eh, kung father and son yan, nawawala ng check and balance.
Tingnan natin, di ba? Kasi meron din naman daw na mga kilala din sa politika na matagal na nagsisilbi kasama ang kanilang pamilya na maayos din naman daw yung kanilang mga... Doon lang tayo, no? Kasi tayo, all sides all the time.
No,
pero
all sides all the time nga, but saying na walang check and balance, it's not taking sides.
No,
saying, that's the purpose of having a vice mayor. Kung hindi, sana nag-mayor ka na lang.
Basta importante, wag po kayo, kung bored po kayo, wag kayo mag-file ng COC. Marami pong pwedeng gawin pag kayo ay bored. Kasi ang dami mga nag-file nag-COC na yung iba talagang nag-file siya. But speaking of mga nag-file ng COC pa rin, over the weekend nakita ko si Jimmy Bondoc. Nag-file siya for as a senatorial candidate. Sinamahan siya ni Senator Robin Hood Padilla.
Dala ba niya yung gitara niya?
Hindi.
Yung gitara bang
Under PDP laban. Hindi, PDP lang pala. Okay, sige, let's continue. And ano ba ang ating top story for today? And for our top story is the filing of candidacy. 78 individuals have filed their certificate of candidacy for senator in next year's elections. This includes some notable personalities like re-electionist Pia Cayetano and lawyer singer Jimmy Bondoc. Here's the report.
Senator Pia Cayetano and her supporters rode their bikes on the way to Manila Hotel for her filing of certificate of candidacy in next year's elections. She is a re-electionist under the Marcos administration's Alyansa para sa Bagong Pilipinas. Also present with her are her brother, Senator Alan Peter Cayetano, and his wife, Taguig Mayor Lani Cayetano. Pia did not grant an interview with the media. Her co-alliance, ACT-CIS Representative Erwin Tulfo, also filed his candidacy yesterday. Tulfo will run under Lakas Christian Muslim Democrats, which is part of the president's coalition. His brother Ben is also gunning for a senatorial seat. If the two of them will win in next year's elections, they will join their brother, Senator Raffy, on the Senate floor. Erwin expressed support for preventing political dynasty if it will benefit the nation. But as long as there is no law about it, he said it's up to the public if they want to have 3 Tulfos in the Senate.
As long as there's no law yet, then we let the people decide. Di po ba? Kung may batas na ho, then we stop. If it's for the benefit of the whole nation, para mapagbigyan ng lahat, then why not, di ba?
Before them, James Patrick Romero Bondoc, or more known as singer Jimmy Bondoc, filed his candidacy for senator. The singer-lawyer is running under former President Rodrigo Duterte's party, Partido Demokratiko Pilipino or PDP.
Nais ko pong gamitin ng boses na ito upang i-institutionalize ang anti-corruption. Gumawa po ng isang mabisa na batas na tuluyan ng wakasan ang korupsyon sa Pilipinas.
Tribal leader Junbert Gigayuma, former vice presidential candidate Wilson Ahmad, Sixto Lagare, and Ernesto Arellano also filed their COC for senator yesterday. So far, 78 individuals have filed their COC for senator. Other senatorial hopefuls have until tomorrow to file their candidacy for next year's elections. For News 5, Gerard de la Peña, We Are One News.
All right, before we end our show, let's get some updates from mobile journalist Amy Atienza, live from Manila Hotel, Tent City.
Napakahalaga ang human resources for health.
Amy, what's the latest there? Sino-sino na ang nag-file ng kanilang COC today?
Ay yung
yes, Angela,
private
Diego, ayun nga, kanina, nabanggit lang natin na may supporter si Benhur Abalos sa may Quirino Grandstand. Pero ngayon, ay nakita na natin siyang mag-file ng kanyang COC. At sabi niya nga, ay gusto niya lang daw na mas maipatupad pa ang mas magandang Pilipinas. At bukod niya dyan, nabanggit niya din na bilang napatupad niya ang magiging Tiger City ng Mandaluyong, yung city nung termino niya bilang mayor, talagang gusto niya daw itong mas mapalawak pa at para lang daw makatulong pa sa mas maraming Pilipino. Pero bukod dyan, nakita rin natin ang isa sa mga former DILG Undersecretary na si J.B. Hinlo, kung saan sinabi niya na tatakbo daw siya under the PBB Laban Party. At yun nga, gusto niya lang daw din talaga na mas mapakilala pa kung ano nga ba ang kanyang mga plataforma, pero hindi niya na spesipikong nabanggit kung ano nga ba yung mga gusto niya pang ipatupad na bill o bill kung sakaling manalo siya bilang Senado.
Bukod dun sa mga nabanggit mo, Amy, meron ka pa bang mga naririnig na mga personalidad na aasahan natin magpa-file ng kanilang o maghahain ng kanilang COC today?
Yes, sa Senado, wala pa tayong balita kung sino nga ang mga magpa-file pa ng kanilang COC. Pero ngayong paparating na tanghali o hapon, abangan natin kung magpa-file ba ng COC si Attorney Sel Jokno para sa Akbayan Party List. At yun lamang sa ngayon, Angela, Diego.
Sige. Maraming salamat sa iyo, Amy Atienza, ating mobile journalist live na nag-ulat mula dyan sa Manila Hotel, Tent City. Thank you, Amy.
So, Bayan Party List ang abangan natin today. Tapos diba may Little Birds nagsasabi.
Baka daw today si
Bam Aquino and Kiko Pangilinan. Ayun, yung tatlo. Baka magsabay na rin. Pero iba, hindi na as senator si...
Hindi na as Checky Bam.
Hindi na Checky Bam. Ano na lang, Kibam.
Kibam.
Diba? Kibam.
Okay. Tapos yun nga kanina nabanggit ko, diba?
Si Eric Tayag.
Oo. Tapos yung kanina pinag-uusapan natin, yung pala nakasama siya sa report, si Jimmy Bondoc, 'di ba? Kasama siya ni sinamahan siya ni ang pangalan nito ni Senator Robin Hood Padilla, 'di ba, sa pag-file ng kanyang COC. Kanina rin nakita din natin isang personality. Ano ang pangalan nun, Direk? Yung taga-PDP din.
Hinlo.
Kasama rin si
Yusek Hinlo.
Oo, kasama rin itong si Senator Robin Hood Padilla.
So binibuild na ni in the possible, yan. Pulong Duterte. Ayan, we have something coming in. Pulong Duterte files for re-election for congressman ng Davao as expected. Natuloy. Last week kasi yung son naman niya, di ba, ang nag-file for councilor at... Ayan, as expected, one Duterte si down. Let's see the two other remaining Dutertes.
So, today, aasahan pa natin na may mga iba pang mga magpa-file ng kanilang COC. Until tomorrow, ang bilis naman talaga ng panahon. Akalain mo last week, nandun lang ako first day. Bukas, babalik po ako dyan dahil last day na. Diba? So, abangan natin kung sino-sino pa yung mga magpa-file ng kanilang COC today and tomorrow. But for the meantime, meron ka bang quote dyan?
Meron akong quote.
What's your quote?
Before we leave the program, I'd like to leave a quote for mga would-be voters na nagsasabi, hindi ko na kailangan iboto yan dahil madami nang boboto dyan o talo na yan, di ba? This is a quote from the former President Barack Obama, and the quote goes, "There's no such thing as a vote that doesn't matter." Yun. So, it doesn't matter kung akala mong talo na kandidato mo or panalo na ang kandidato mo. Still get your vote out.
Because every vote counts.
And,
every vote matters.
Kung sana talagang vote wisely. Data, matagal ng presidente si Wisely.
Pero, ano pa ba yung mga dapat nating abangan, di ba? Yung mga pagpa-file pa rin naman, ng Certificate of
Until
Candidacy
5 o'clock today,
tomorrow.
second to the last day ng filing ng COC. Tomorrow is the last day.
Tulad nga ng nabanggit natin, hindi pa naman sila official candidates, yung mga nag-file, di ba? Ministerial duty ng COMELEC is tanggapin yung magpa-file ng kanilang COC.
Saka nila sasalain.
By December, hopefully, sabi ng COMELEC, makapag-print na sila ng ballot, doon yung mga official list ng mga kandidato para sa 2025 midterm elections.
Okay.
Oo, basahin ko lang itong sabi ni, good morning sa iyo, Mina Benyales and the rest of our Jessie Mendez family. At si Gary Field, marami rin siyang mga sinasabi dito tungkol sa survey. Oo, wag daw maniwala sa survey, nagko-commission yan at mind conditioning. Oo.
Yeah.
Depende kasi yan kung sino ngang nag-commission.
And how the question is asked. Top of mind, selected names.
And you will see, based din dun sa mga survey and dun sa mga nakakausap
din
natin.
Pero the surveys that count right now after all the filings are done and pag may list of candidates na, yan ang survey na nagka-count.
Oo.
Because may candidate ka na hindi na top of mind to, hindi na
official list ka na.
Selected names. The survey now will be done based on COMELEC's official list of candidates.
Yun.
As of now, they're still aspirants.
Oo. Dun sa mga list nung admin slate, meron pa ba tayong hindi nakikita doon na
basta si Senator Manny Pacquiao.
Yun pa lang no?
Kasi sila Binay tapos na. Si
Senator Pia Cayetano yesterday nakita natin, naka-pink. At
Abalos, tapos
nagano siya nag-bike papunta sa Manila Hotel, Tent City para mag-file ng kanyang COC.
Si Senator Amy Marcos tapos
na nauna na si Senator Amy Marcos
So si Pacquiao, Senator Pacquiao na lang ang nakikita. Under BBBM.
Tingnan ko nga yung listahan ko. And the rest.
Of course, inaabangan natin. Tomorrow, di ba, is coming.
Alin?
Is coming.
Nakita natin sa social media ngayon.
Is coming
sa Manila, local politics.
Manila.
Talagang din, ang tawag dito, mainit ang mga labanan sa lokal, no? Pero na lang dun sa Quezon City, mukhang
unchallenged.
Oo, si
Mayor Joy Belmonte.
Oo, sa Pasig, mainit-init din ang labanan dyan dahil
Mayor Vico Soto.
Oo, merong mga anomalya supposedly mga sinasabi itong si Mayor Vico Soto. Pero he was able to file his COC yesterday.
But if numbers look to hold, it looks like Vico may come around again as
Sa San
mayor.
Juan, hindi pa natin masyado nabibisita yan kasi may mga ugong-ugong na may ibang mga magcha-challenge sa Zamora. Diba?
Former Senator Grace po, yan ang ugong-ugong.
Ugong-ugong lang yan, hindi pa natin alam. But for the meantime, yun. Tumutok lang po kayo dito sa One News and One PH para doon sa mga iba pang mga detalye tungkol sa filing certificate of candidacy ng ating mga aspirants. Day 7 yan today. Tomorrow, last day na yan. Abangan.
Alright, and that wraps up today's episode of Brunch.
Join us again tomorrow. I'm Angela Lagunsad Castro. And he is Angelo Castro III. We are One News, all sides, all the time. Ayaw pa.